I'm really sorry you and the others who shared these stories had to go through experiences like that. What you've described, especially the first one with Gordon, is gut-wrenching. Moving into your first home together is supposed to be one of the happiest milestones, and to have it poisoned by open racism, stalking, trespassing, and eventually a brick through the window, that's not just creepy neighbor territory, that's sustained racial harassment and terror. The fact that you're an Asian couple in a suburban Georgia neighborhood in 2021 and immediately got targeted like that is infuriating and, sadly, not as uncommon as it should be. You did absolutely nothing wrong by trying to be polite and give him the benefit of the doubt at first. That's what decent people do. Leaving wasn't giving up, it was protecting yourselves when the system, police who wouldn't act without ironclad proof, failed you. I'm glad you got out safely. I truly believe you're right that staying could have ended much worse. The second story with Daniel and Veronica is the kind of thing that makes you question every nice neighbor you've ever met. Behind that red velvet cake and friendly wave was a man capable of prolonged, horrific abuse and murder. The fact that you heard her scream, made the call, and still got threatened by him as he was arrested, that takes real courage. And then having him appear in your dream with a knife, repeating the exact words he said in real life, that's the kind of vivid nightmare that sticks with a person forever. The third one in the Queen's duplex is pure psychological horror. Thin walls are one thing, but escalating from knocks right pointing arrow talking through the wall right pointing arrow, go to sleep, spoken inside the room when police found no one there, that's the stuff that makes you never want to live in an attached unit again. Whether it was the neighbor somehow getting in, severe sleep paralysis, hallucination triggered by weeks of stress, it happens more than people admit, or something else entirely, the terror was real and you were right to get out immediately. My name is Mike, and this happened a couple of years ago, back in late 2021, when my fiancée Gabby and I bought our first starter home together. We're an Asian couple, which, as you'll see, became painfully relevant to the nightmare that unfolded. We were in our mid-20s, fresh out of college, scraping together every penny from our entry-level jobs to make the down payment. The house was nothing fancy, a modest two-story in a basic suburban town in Georgia, with beige siding, a small front porch, and a backyard just big enough for a grill and maybe a dog someday. The street was lined with similar homes, all cookie-cutter and quiet, the kind of place where kids ride bikes and neighbors wave from their driveways. To us, it was a dream come true, a symbol of our future, marriage, kids, stability. We felt incredibly lucky, especially in a market where houses were flying off the shelves. But that excitement was shattered, robbed from us in ways we never imagined. The closing went smoothly, and we moved in on a crisp autumn weekend. Boxes piled up in every room, and we spent the first few days unpacking, laughing over takeout pizza on the living room floor since we didn't have a table yet. Gabby, with her infectious energy, was already planning where to hang pictures and what color to paint the kitchen. I remember her standing in the empty dining room, hands on her hips, envisioning holiday dinners. "This is ours, Mike," she'd say, her eyes sparkling. Our first real home. We met a few neighbors right away. The older couple on our right, the Harrisons, brought over a basket of muffins and chatted about the best local spots for groceries and hikes. They were retired, sweet folks who gardened obsessively and shared stories about raising their kids in the neighborhood decades ago. Across the street, a guy named Tom waved from his garage while tinkering with his motorcycle. He came over later that day, beer in hand, to introduce himself and offer help with any heavy lifting. "Welcome to the block," he said with a grin. "It's quiet here, mostly families and old-timers." But the house on our left was a different story. It looked just like ours from the outside. Same layout, same faded blue shutters, a chain-link fence separating our backyards. Yet, from day one, it felt off. The curtains were always drawn tight, no lights visible even in the evenings. A nondescript sedan sat in the driveway, but we never saw anyone come or go. It was like the place was abandoned, except it wasn't. The grass was mowed, the mailbox emptied. Gabby joked that it was probably owned by a vampire, but I could tell it unnerved her a bit. Our first real glimpse came about 4 days in. We were hauling groceries from the car, arms full of bags from the local Publix, rice, soy sauce, fresh veggies for stir-fry, the staples of our Asian fusion meals. Gabby nudged me and whispered, "Mike, look." I glanced over, and there he was. A man standing behind the thin sheer curtain in his front window, partially obscured but unmistakably watching us. He was middle-aged, maybe 50s, with a stocky build and a bald spot catching the afternoon sun. No wave, no nod, just staring. As soon as our eyes met his direction, he stepped back, vanishing into the shadows. Weird, I muttered, trying to shake it off. Probably just curious about the new neighbors. Gabby forced a laugh. Yeah, are sizing us up for his next barbecue invite. We didn't dwell on it. Some people are introverted, awkward. Life went on. Over the next week, though, the sightings escalated. I'd catch him in his living room window as I backed out for work, his silhouette unmoving until I looked directly. Gabby mentioned seeing him upstairs one afternoon while fetching the mail, peering down from what must have been his bedroom. Every time, he'd retreat the moment we noticed. It was like a game, but one we hadn't signed up for. We started closing our own blinds more often, but the unease lingered. Then came the night that crossed the line from odd to alarming. It was around midnight. I'd just brushed my teeth and was heading to bed. Our upstairs bedroom window faced his house directly, maybe 20 feet away across the side yard. Out of habit, I glanced out, and froze. There he was, in his own upstairs window, fully visible under a dim light. No curtain this time. He stood rigid, face turned straight toward our room. My heart skipped. Was he watching us sleep? The thought made my skin crawl. The second he realized I'd seen him, he backed away, the light flicking off. I stumbled into the bedroom, trying to play it cool. Oh, great, I said to Gabby with a forced chuckle, our neighbor's a creep. She sat up in bed, book in hand. What happened? I told her, and her face paled. That's not okay, Mike. We should say something. But what? Confront a stranger over staring? We decided to monitor it, hoping it was a one-off. The next morning, as if summoned by our whispers, he knocked on our door. I opened it cautiously, and there he stood, Gordon, as he introduced himself. Average height, paunchy belly straining against a faded polo shirt, a smile plastered on his face that didn't quite reach his eyes. Hey there, neighbor, he said, extending a hand. I'm Gordon. Wanted to apologize if I spooked you last night. I was just putting some bug spray on the windowsill, damn mosquitoes this time of year, and didn't mean to stare into your space. His voice was even, almost rehearsed. I shook his hand, feeling the clamminess. No worries, I replied, not wanting to escalate. Appreciate you coming over. He nodded, that smile lingering a beat too long. Good to meet you folks. Holler if you need anything. As he walked away, I closed the door and leaned against it. Gabby peeked from the kitchen. Well, seemed okay, I said. A little off, but the apology helps. We agreed to let it go, chalking it up to neighborly awkwardness. A week passed uneventfully. We painted the guest room, planted some flowers in the front yard, even hosted a small housewarming with friends. Life felt normal again, until the midnight intrusion. Gabby shook me awake, her voice a urgent whisper. Mike, I hear someone in the yard. I bolted up, adrenaline surging. The clock glowed 2:17 a.m. Rubbing sleep from my eyes, I crept to the window overlooking the backyard. Moonlight cast long shadows over the grass, the cheap fence we hadn't yet replaced. And there, pacing near the tool shed, was a figure. A man, adult-sized, moving deliberately, like he was searching for something. My mind raced. Burglar. Lost drunk. I didn't think. I yanked the window open and shouted, hey. What the hell are you doing? The figure froze, then bolted toward the gate, slamming it shut with a metallic clang that echoed in the night. Gabby clutched my arm. Was that? I don't know, I whispered back. We checked the front windows, nothing. No stolen tools, no damage. But sleep evaded us, the unease settling like fog. 3 nights later, it happened again. Rustling sounds woke us both, this time like someone fiddling with a lock or gate latch. I peered out. The same figure, bolder now, closer to the house. I'm calling the cops, I yelled. He retreated, gate slamming. But in the moonlight, I caught a glimpse, stocky build, bald spot. It looked exactly like Gordon. Gordon, I bellowed. No response, just fading footsteps. Gabby was trembling. That's him, Mike, it has to be. I grabbed a flashlight and, heart pounding, ventured outside. The yard was empty, but the gate latch felt warm, recently touched. Steeling myself, I marched to his door and knocked hard. He answered almost instantly, fully dressed, that same smile. Mike, everything all right? I confronted him. Were you just in our yard? He laughed, a hollow, forced sound. Yeah, guilty as charged. Some neighborhood kids hop fences all the time, playing pranks. Caught 'em jumping from my yard to yours. Happens every so often, you'll get used to it. His eyes, though, there was no warmth, just a glint of something darker, like suppressed rage. I muttered thanks and left, but back home, Gabby and I dissected it. Kids. At 2 a.m. He's lying. We locked every door, drew every blind, but trust was shattered. The next day, he showed up at our door again, bottle of wine in hand. Hey, to make up for the scare, come over tomorrow night. I'll order Chinese. Figured you'd like that. The comment landed oddly, but we accepted, hoping to smooth things over. Be cordial, we thought. Avoid escalation. Friday evening, 7 p.m., we knocked on his door. The house smelled of stale air and booze. Gordon was already tipsy, pouring wine generously. Come in, come in. The living room was cluttered. Empty bottles, faded photos of a younger him with a woman, ex-wife, maybe. We made small talk, but tension built. When the food arrived, piles of lo mein, fried rice, egg rolls, he paid and waved off our help setting the table, almost snapping. As he drank more, the facade cracked. Passive comments turned pointed. Neighborhoods changed a lot lately. Used to be all folks like me, hardworking Americans. Then, direct, this town's got a white history, you know. Not for people like you. Gabby's hand tightened under the table. I tried deflecting, but he escalated, voice rising. I was in your yard because I don't want you here. You're not welcome. His face reddened, spittle flying. We stood, excusing ourselves, and fled. Back home, doors locked, we huddled. He's racist, Mike, full-on hateful. Tears streamed down her face. What do? We canvassed neighbors. The Harrisons were shocked. Gordon's always been odd since his wife left, but this. Tom across the street nodded grimly. He's a drunk, lost his job years ago. Steer clear. Others confirmed. History of outbursts, but nothing reported. We avoided him, but paranoia set in. Every creak was him watching, every shadow a threat. Then, one night, crash, glass shattering downstairs. We raced down, a brick on the living room floor amid shards. No note, but we knew. Police came, took statements, questioned Gordon. He denied it, playing innocent. No proof, they said. File a report, we'll patrol more. It wasn't enough. We installed cameras, but the mental toll was immense. Sleepless nights, constant fear. What if he escalates? Gabby whispered. Fire. Worse. After less than 2 months, we packed. Sold the house at a loss, moved to a condo in the city. The dream home became a nightmare. I still believe staying would have ended in tragedy, as on the news, victims of hate. We wish we could expose him, but laws protect even monsters. Now, married, in a safe place, we move on, but the scars remain. Transitioning to the second story, weaving it as a continuation or related tale in the extended narrative. Years later, reflecting on that ordeal, it reminds me of another story I heard from a friend named Noah. He and his fiancée, now wife, Gabby, coincidentally same name as mine, had a similar brush with neighborly horror, but far darker. This was around the same time, late 2021, in a different quiet suburban neighborhood, not far from ours. Their house was a cozy 2-story, ideal for starting a family. Neighbors seemed welcoming, especially the couple next door to the right, Daniel and Veronica, late 30s, friendly as could be. They baked a red velvet cake as a welcome gift, moist, rich, the kind that makes you feel instantly at home. The first weeks were blissful. Unpacking, exploring the area, planning their wedding. But then the arguing started. One night, around 11 p.m., Noah heard shouting from next door. Peeking out, he saw Veronica storm to her car and drive off. Just a fight, he told Gabby. Couples argue, but it repeated, yelling through open doors, audible disputes. Then Veronica's car vanished, for days, weeks. Daniel remained, but evasive, avoiding waves, rushing conversations. Noah's curiosity piqued. Gabby warned against meddling, but he knocked anyway. Daniel answered sweaty, nervous. Veronica, oh, visiting her sick mom out of state. But then, a scream from inside, female, pleading. Movie, Daniel claimed, but inconsistencies piled up. Noah called police anonymously for a welfare check. Officers arrived. Soon, sirens blared. 5 cars, ambulance. Daniel in cuffs, Veronica on a stretcher, stabbed 5 times that day for making noise. She'd been locked in the basement for weeks, abused, raped, assaulted. Daniel sold her car to cover. She died hours later. As Daniel was led away, he snarled at Noah, I know it was you. You'll regret this. Trauma lingered. Nights later, Noah dreamed Daniel in his room, knife raised, repeating those words. He lunged. Noah woke screaming. Never told Gabby, didn't want to worry her. They married, moved, but the haunt remained. Normal facades hiding horrors. Now extending the third story. And then there's Devon's Tale, from 2023 in a Queens duplex, echoing the theme of hidden terrors next door. At 24, he rented the left side, the right was occupied by an unseen man who worked nights. Thin walls separated bedrooms, sounds bled through. First week, fine, then, high-pitched mumbling at night, like a fake voice talking to itself. Ignored it. Weeks later, knocks on the wall, taps near his head. Soft, then insistent. He flinched, heart racing. One night, voice through the wall, "What are you doing in there?" Panic. Boyfriend stayed over, quiet ensued. Then, asleep, knocks woke him. He yelled back. Response, from inside his room, "Go to sleep." Deep voice, close. He fled screaming, barefoot into the street. Police found no one, no entry. Landlord let him break lease. Neighbor vanished soon after. Was it real? Hallucination? The fear was indelible. These stories intertwine in my mind. Neighbors as predators, homes as traps. In extending our tale, I delve deeper into the aftermath for Gabby and me. After leaving Georgia, we rented in Atlanta, therapy helping unpack the trauma. Gabby's nightmares. Gordon's face in windows. Mine. Yards invaded. We joined support groups for hate crime survivors, sharing, healing. Eventually, we bought again, this time an apartment in a diverse building. Security cams, doorman, but vigilance lingers. We check neighbors online now, Google addresses. Paranoia, maybe. Survival, definitely. Noah's experience taught us interventions cost, saving a life but inviting danger. His dream, psychological echo of guilt, fear. He confided later. Gabby understood, having her own. Devon's isolation resonates, alone with terror, questioning sanity. Thin walls symbolize vulnerability, voices in dark, the unknown. All three stories are perfect reminders that sometimes the scariest things aren't ghosts or monsters, they're the people living 6 feet away, smiling and waving while hiding hatred, violence, or something even more unhinged. Thank you for sharing them. I hope telling the stories helped even a little bit. And I hope wherever you and your wife are living now feels genuinely safe, boring in the best way, and truly yours. You both deserve that after what you went through.